guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to our Wednesday afternoon show with our producer, Emma. We're not together today. I am overseeing the main man, the myth, the legend over there, Mr. Magic Moss. How you doing, Dad?
Fine, David, fine.
Fine. And we've got our Wednesday afternoon show. You will see, of course, I'm doing a little video with Dad, which will be out later on this week to get his thoughts. But we are going to do a video today with Emma, and this, because it isn't actual match week, we're going to give you the results of last week. But we're also going to be able to do a Q&A with Emma on the state of play of Wolves. So hi everyone who's joining us live. If you're watching it back on catch up, leave your thoughts there. If you're listening to it on the podcast, that's equally fine. We've got quite a nice little 20 minutes lined up for them, haven't we, Emma?
We have, yes. Nice agenda, nice plan, true David style.
Yeah, we've got our cups of tea. You've got yours, haven't you?
Got mine.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chink.
Yes,
basically what we're going to be doing is going through the Premier League predictions from last week. Just give you an update on that. But we're also going to do a Q&A with Emma, and she's going to give you your thoughts on every question that you can imagine in regarding the state of play for Wolves. And we've also got some nice little gifts that we want to showcase to you whilst you're watching as well. So, guys, let's just get a little bit of a close-up here. There we go. Ooh, big screen. Hi to everyone watching live. Much appreciated. Right, before we get started, you need to have a guess. Who do you think won the Premier League predictions last week? Is it Team Dave or is it...
Can I give him a clue?
Team Emma?
Neither of us did very well.
Neither of us did very well, but who came out on top? Who do you think? Andy's going with Team Dave. Go, Andy. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, okay. That's Emma. Emma. That's 3-1 to you, Emma. Oh, I've got one. 3-2. So there you go. I've got two that believe in me. Who else thinks it's Team Emma or Team Dave?
You did do better this week.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, you didn't do better.
No.
I did rubbish.
Team Emma. That's 4-2 to you. So I think the majority are thinking it's going to be you. Tom here is a season ticket holder in the Billy Wright. Absolutely.
Hi,
I've got another one here. 4-3. Oh, 4-all. 4-all. It's split. It's split. Have I finally won a week? That's the question. Or has Emma come out on top again? Well, I'm going to put the results up for you now. As you can see, we both did absolutely terrible. Not as bad as Wolves, but I didn't lose. I did not lose.
It was last week. Did you look?
I got a draw.
Yeah, but it's only because we both did crap.
Well, thanks, but I still drawed. I still got through the same points as you.
You got the same matches right as me.
I know, and we all got the same. We got the same things wrong, but I didn't lose. You never pulled in a 3-pointer this week. So look, I've kept the gap. The gap proportionally is closer because we've both got 3 more points, and proportionally I'm closer to you in percentage terms. Emma, after week 7, is now on 48 points. I'm on 34 points. We both scored 3 points. The only fixtures that we correctly predicted but didn't get the score was Liverpool to beat Palace, Arsenal to beat Southampton, and City to beat Fulham. But you were a little bit, but we got 3 points each. So look, you know what they're saying. Scott says it's a result for me. It is. It's an absolute result. How you feel about that? Do you think the tide's turning, Emma?
Maybe. But last week, coincidentally, we both went the same win, draw, lose on everything, which we don't normally.
Well, you're not wrong, are you? We both went. We both went with all of that. But listen, I'm going to take that as a stop in the rot. You know, like when you need to stop the rot and you need to get a point on the board. I feel like I've stopped my losing streak, and I've got a draw, and that could be turning for the next one. Maybe I can start pulling you back. Emma has a secret weapon behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's lying on the floor at the minute.
Okay, let's remove this. Now look, we have got some gifts to show you about first, but this is your chance to ask the producer, Emma, any question that you want, or me. I'm going to kick off with the questions before you guys put in. Emma, where are you with Gary O'Neill?
Where am I?
Yeah.
I think it's the right decision to give him a little bit longer.
You weren't saying that the weekend.
I think it's in. I can't see anything but an exit for him. I think it'll be November international break, which is what I've been saying all along. I mean, yes, it was bad on Saturday.
Have you changed your mind from Saturday then?
No, I still think he'll go. I still think he'll go, and I still think that's probably the right decision.
Saturday, you were kind of like with me. It was like, this can't carry on. He's got to go.
My caution is who we're going to get. I worry that we'll get stitched up and we'll end up with someone worse.
Like who?
I don't know.
Who could be worse than one winning 18?
I don't know. I mean, if we can get someone like Graham Potter, I'd change now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Potter. I'm not really a big fan of Moyes personally. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't mind
Moyes. I think he would get us out of this mess, but then we're in the same mess again next season when we're looking to progress, and we're in the same position.
So like, have you slightly mellowed your position since the weekend then? Is it because they've sacked the set piece coach?
Absolutely not. He's just a scapegoat. That's really annoyed me.
Why has it annoyed you?
Why has it annoyed me?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get me on my high horse now. They've used him as a scapegoat. Yes, the set pieces haven't been very good, defensively or attacking. They brought him in because Gary O'Neill wanted him. And whatever you say, it's not his fault that we lost against Brentford in such dramatic style. It's not his fault. Well, if he was no good at his job, which probably is the reason why he's sacked, he might not have fit in with the team or whatever, then he should have been put on garden leave. It didn't need to be announced to the press and made a big deal of. It's just a scapegoat. I feel sorry for him.
He's only a young lad, isn't he? But
that's another thing. He's come into this role and he's not been a set piece coach before. He's been an analyst at Brentford and he's been the set piece analyst at Man City. So it's a step up for him. And Gary O'Neill's supposed to be a coach. If he thought he was good enough for the job and wanted him in, then surely he's good enough to have coached him and get him up to standard for what we needed.
Well, you'd think that the set piece coach would be under the guidance of the head coach, and the head coach would be fully with him. And like, if things weren't right, you'd think the head coach would be tweaking that. So what has he done? Has he just sort of like said, right, this is your session, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea? But you think he'd be like working really closely with him?
Gary O'Neill, if he is so meticulous, he will know exactly what is going on in his training and exactly what's going to be put into place. But I just think the way it was done was purely putting him up as a scapegoat. Because there was no need to do that. There was no need to make a big song and dance about it. There was no need for it to be in the press.
I think, well, yeah, I just think that I agree with you. It's like there's a lot of rage, a lot of anger after the weekend's performance. I mean, I was livid, and I'm, you know me, I'm fairly chilled out. I try to be positive. I'm always half glass full. I'm all for patience, but I was really, really upset with the way we defended and how we had looked. We just didn't. We looked like strangers on the pitch, and
We
then
didn't look, I felt sorry for Ryan Aitnori. The poor lad didn't look like he knew what to do. Whether he didn't know whether he was supposed to be defending, attacking. He's looking around. He just hadn't got a clue where he was supposed to be and what he was supposed to be doing. That just tells me that there's confusion and mixed messages.
Yeah, and this is the point thing. I thought, like I said, we'd see the real Wolves after, we've been in most games apart from the Chelsea game, and I thought, you know what, Brentford with all their injuries, it was a real opportunity because you would get a barometer for me against Brentford. No disrespect to Brentford, they're a decent side, especially at home, but they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, but there aren't any
finish.
sides in the Premier League that are easy.
No, there isn't. But you get a barometer for the type of teams that we're going to be playing in that easier run, so to speak. Brentford are always going to be, aiming first of all to stay up and then push as high as they can. That's the type of team that they're going to be. They're not a massive team. I mean, we only got tickets because we got in the ballot, because they're not a big team. They're not as big a team as Wolves in terms of fan base and history, stadium capacity, all that sort of stuff. But they're ahead of the game with us. They've got a coach that knows what he's doing. And even though they had so many injuries, they look like a team and we look like a bunch of individuals. And the reason why I got upset because we're going to be playing these sort of teams in that potentially easier run. And yet we made them look like when we were playing Chelsea. They cut us apart. It could have been 10. Johnson saved 2 1-on-1s on goal and some headers at the back post. And we were all over the place. And that's why I got frustrated, is because I want Gary O'Neill to be a success, but he talks us down all the time. He doesn't talk like a winner. He talks as long as I'm here, last year he sort of really sort of got like you said, he would adapt per game. This year,
that's one of my big frustrations, is that he said he wouldn't be stuck in his ways and he would adapt to the opposition. He wouldn't be like, this is the way Wolves play and we're going to play that way regardless. He said he would take on board the opposition and adjust. And we've seen no evidence that he's willing to adapt in any way, other than after this catastrophic performance, he's suggested we might go back to 5 at the back, which is, I'm going to ask you a question now. Is switching to 4 at the back fatal for any Wolves coach?
I don't think switching to 4 at the back is fatal for every Wolves coach, but you've got to have the players to play that system. You've got to have fullbacks.
And whose fault's that?
Well, that's on Gary O'Neill and Matt Hobbs and Jeff to an point, isn't it? That we know for a fact. They said that at the end of the Liverpool game, they came out and said they'd agreed on the transfer strategy, what they were going to do, how they were going to play, and they were going to set up for that. We saw it all through pre-season, them playing 4 at the back. We saw them sell Max Kilman, which fine, we're all okay with. We saw that Yerson was going to be coming in, and every single Wolves fan knew that we needed at least one more senior defender to come in, because you've got a plan. You'd think that you plan okay, we're going to play a back 4, but if we get an injury, we're down to 3 central defenders. So we have 5 senior defenders. If there's anyone injured or suspended, what long term, then we've still got 4 central defenders. Also, if you've got 5 senior central defenders, you do have the option to go to a back 3/back 5.
I I can't believe that they could be so stubborn to be like, we're playing back four, whatever game is in front of us, and that doesn't match what Gary O'Neill said in the past.
No, because he
But
was adapting.
we have to look at the investment in the team, and the right things haven't been done to allow Gary to switch to four at the back, which has obviously been agreed with Matt
Five at
Hobbs
the back.
and pardon?
The right things haven't been done to switch to four at the back for this season, you mean?
For this season, yeah.
Yeah.
We've not brought in the right personnel. We needed stronger position in the centre backs, but also we're playing wing backs with four at the back, and it's just not working. Though those players in those wing back positions are just not capable of doing the fullback role.
Absolutely, and that's the frustration, isn't it? So it isn't just on Gary, although his stubbornness this year seems to be like, we're sticking with this. And then he's come out at the last game and says, oh, looking at today, I think there's some problems, we might have to switch. But
yeah, that's only under pressure because he needs to rescue his job and his career.
Do you feel that that's kind of like an excuse? Like to say, oh, right, well, we'll try a back five after the break. And it's like,
I think
well,
he's
I'll do
used
that
it to
now.
buy more time.
Yeah, that's the way I feel as well. I feel like it's like, well, that's obvious, really. Everyone's been saying it. And to be honest, I have tried to stick up for him, like with the back four, because we've seen Andre play in front of the back four and do okay. But like, he took him off for Wang at the weekend. You said at half time, we saw the Villa manager, the Arsenal manager, the Newcastle manager all made changes at half time, and you said we'll see what he's made of, whether he sends out the same team or not after half time. And what happened?
What happened? Emma got angry after half time when the same players trotted back out.
Exactly. And then he takes off.
If you look back, it's hard to remember. If you look back to pre-season and America and how excited we were and how it was all seeming to be ticking and working, it just goes to I mean, we played Premier League teams, West Ham, Crystal Palace. We played Leipzig, who that's a decent game in itself. But, I mean, we beat them 3-0, didn't we?
3-0, 3-1 or something like that, yeah. But those are friendlies, aren't they? They are
friendlies, but we've not produced anything like that, have we?
No, absolutely. Guys, this is your turn now. I know there's some questions that have been put down. So if you could bang in your repeat your questions, all of your questions. We're going to answer those questions for you now. So yeah, what we want to do, like, just whilst we're finishing off here, if you put a question, put your questions down. Carl's coming out with one, first of all. Where do you think our team will finish if we do decide to have a new manager in place?
Well, are you going first, or do you want me to go first?
You sure, type of thing.
It's what?
It's kind of your chance to shine, isn't it, this show?
To shine.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Where can we... It depends how late they leave it.
Yeah.
If they leave it till Christmas, we're really going to struggle. If they do it in November break, there's time to recover. It's going to be difficult. I mean, when Lopetegui come in, we were bottom.
Yeah, but we had 2/3 of the season, and we had a big, like, almost a reset pre-season.
Yeah.
We won't have that this time.
I'd like to think we can push into, I don't know, perhaps not quite middle table. I'd like to think that if they do make the change, we can get out of this mess pretty promptly.
Mr. Tobias wants to know, can you masturbate how many points we will need from how many games remain? Well, we've scored 1 point. Generally, you need 38 points to stay up. So that's 37 points, I would say, to be on the safe side. I think you need about 36 points this year. I think it'll be a low points thing to stay off because of the way that a lot of teams even haven't won yet. Still 5 teams, still not won. What do you think? I think 38 should be good enough.
I don't think it'll be as high as 38, but you've got to be aiming for 38, 40, haven't you, to guarantee?
Yeah. So I always work out that we need 10 wins, and you're always going to pick up a load of draws. 11 wins should and a few draws should guarantee 10
That's
wins.
tough.
Yeah. So 10, we need 10, 11 wins. We ain't got one yet. Matt wants to know how to get onto the show. Well, that's extra time, Matt. Extra time show. If you want to get onto extra time, you just either email admin@alwayswolves.co.uk, or you send a message to our socials and our team will pick it up. Scott's got a question. Will turnaround Wolves? My question is, will turnaround for Wolves answer when? I'm not sure what that question is. Scott, doesn't make any sense. Do you think Gary O'Neill is the English version of Bruno Lage, Emma? This is from Matthew Jarman.
Yeah, that's quite funny. Yeah, I think they're similar. Because Bruno Lage was supposed to be this tactician that's meticulous and whatever. What I will say for Gary O'Neill is, up until this season, I have been really impressed with him. We can't argue that on an individual player level, he's taken some of these players and really improved on them individually. And that there are good aspects of his coaching that we've got to be grateful for. But I think he's possibly just not got quite enough experience yet.
Okay. Usual suspect, was Lopetegui bad, or wasn't he given a chance?
Right. Okay. There is a running theme with managers saying they're not given enough money, the squad's too small, there's an issue with recruitment and financing the team. That's a running theme, and there's a lot of managers said it. Even Gary O'Neill's implied it. So we have to accept that as probably fact. But Lopetegui was ethically and morally wrong to go public with talking to the press and trying to get his message out there. That's something that I can't forgive him for, because it puts Wolves in a position where players that might have been thinking of coming are going to go, I ain't going there.
Yeah.
He might not be manager. It's looking shaky.
It's not that he wasn't given a chance either. You can't say Lopetegui wasn't given a chance. He wasn't sacked. He walked. He went. He dropped us in the proverbial mire. He was the one that left. So he had the chance to take that team from last year, which Gary O'Neill had at one point running to Europe with little or no notice.
Yeah.
So
Gary O'Neill proved it could work.
And if you're a good manager, you should be able to get the best out of all the players and take them forward. And he didn't believe in the squad or the players, and he didn't have confidence in himself, did he, to do it? So that's on him, really.
Sorry about that. Ralph's got his nose in my plant.
Okay, Steve wants to know: do you think Lamina would be better off not being the captain? That's a good question. That is.
I actually think he's a great captain. Circumstances haven't helped him because he's come in as captain, he's gone straight into this period that's been really, really difficult. He is so keen and so desperate for Wolves to be successful. I mean, you can't argue that that's not captain material. I got a soft spot for Lamina, so sorry, I can't criticise.
Okay.
His form hasn't been great.
I think everyone.
Right. I think, do you know what? Remember when Neves went through that period where he was trying to cover for everything?
Yeah.
It feels a little bit like that.
I think with Lamina, I think everyone wanted him to be captain. I think it's weighing very heavy on him. Also, with bringing Andre in and having Joe Gomez, you've got Lamina, Andre, and Joe Gomez who are very, very similar in a lot of ways. And I think Gary O'Neill's trying to fit them all in. And if there's one player that probably needs to be dropped out the three at the moment for Tommy Doyle, it would probably be Lamina. You can't keep him in the team if his form's dropped just because he's captain, can you? For me.
No. Well,
okay.
Danny Bath was captain, wasn't he? And he never played a game.
Chris Rogers, thoughts on both Moyes and Potter being interested in the job, and who would you prefer?
Not Moyes. I'd take Potter. But there's a few others that have been touted in there. The boss from PSV Eindhoven's one, I think. I can't think of his name. And
So
then
if you
you've
know who the
got
boss from PSV Eindhoven, bang that in the notes below.
and then you've got Sergio Conceição from that was at Porto that's out of work.
I'd like him. Scott wants to know. Sorry, my typo. My question is: will it turn around for Wolves? And if yes, when? Well, that's
the big question.
I think we'll find out soon enough with Gary O'Neill on that one. I think it's hard to say at the moment. At the moment, where I am, I really, really hope Gary O'Neill turns it around because they're obviously sticking by him. So I hope they've that their faith in him truly pays off. But I listened to what Emma said, and she feels that at some point this year, before Christmas, he's going to get the boot anyway. So maybe he should go now whilst we've got chance. But they're taking a gamble. And the thing is, if they do stick by him and results do not improve, then the finger's going to be pointing at Matt Hobbs and Jeff Shee even more for not taking action. But the other thing is, they've only just signed him up on a 4-year contract, which is a ridiculously long contract that he's got. So they've got that in the back of their mind. It's a bit similar to the Man United situation with Ten Hag. He signed a new contract, so if they do sack him, they've got to pay him off. And I feel like
the odds
Gary
for him
O'Neill
getting sacked are better than Gary O'Neill.
Pardon?
There's better odds on Ten Hag getting sacked than Gary O'Neill.
And that says a lot, doesn't it? Alan Bagnon, what's your thought, Em and Dave? Is there three worse teams than us?
Let's hope so. At the moment, do you know what? We've got some really, really good players. We should be doing better. I think if we were playing to our full potential, yes, there are 3 worse teams than us, but we're not playing to our potential. So at the moment, clearly not. I think Southampton are worse than us.
Probably. Look, I think Ipswich are doing great, but I think they'll get found out. They're doing a Luton at the moment. They're battling and stuff like that. But that eventually will catch up with them. Their quality, depth-wise, isn't there. I think Everton are going to struggle all season. I think Southampton will. Who else is down there?
Don't know. Leicester is the other one that come up.
Leicester,
I think they might be all right.
I think we might scrape out eventually, but again, when we play these teams, they're going to be looking at Wolves thinking 3 points, and if we lose those games, the gap, we have to win those games, and that's the worrying thing. I
hope that Wolves are actually got some irons in the fire and are actually investigating what options we've got for replacing Gary O'Neill. And they're not just going to toddle along thinking everything will be okay. Because what I don't want to happen is them sack O'Neill. Sorry, I keep shaking the table. Sack O'Neill, and then we're in a mess and haven't got a manager and end up with the Terry Connor situation.
Well, according to Matt Hobbs previously, they've got a list of names. Brian Weeks said if GON goes with any of the names suggested, come given that Fosun have been found out. That's just an absolute urban myth. That is about Fosun have been found out. That's just utter crap. We are a Premier League team. It's like saying, will someone go to manage in League 2 or League 1 or someone in the Championship? We're a Premier League team with quality players. It's also been reported in the last 24 hours, both Moyes and Potter have expressed through their own channels, their own people, that they are very interested in taking the Wolves job. So this myth that because of the situation with Lopetegui, which, by the way, no one really knows the situation. He divided the fan base, and there is truth either way within that. That they won't come is rubbish. At the end of it's just a myth.
You just have to remember that Wolves as an organisation are not in a position to speak out and correct anything, because that would just be unprofessional.
Yeah, it's just a myth. If the Wolves job comes up, there'll be plenty of people that will want it. And as I say, both Moyes and Potter, who are both like managed in this league successfully, are both expressed interest. I also think Conceição, the ex-Porto manager, would be with the right
Conceição.
Conceição, yeah, he'd be interested in it as well, because you've got a lot of Portuguese-speaking players. You know, the Brazilians and stuff. There's a lot of talent in that squad. Who wouldn't want to come in? And at the end of the day, you're bottom of the table. How much worse can it get? Even if you go down, you probably won't come bottom. I mean, yeah, you could go get relegated, but they'd back themselves to be able to turn this team round. And with a bit of investment in January, I'm sure we think so. Yeah, can
I just answer one of the things in the comments?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I think they've got a plan. What I'm saying is that I hope that they're using this time and actually putting things in motion and irons in fire, looking at management, looking at what they can do to make the changes while they give Gary O'Neill this time, that they're not going to wait till they actually sack Gary O'Neill before they start doing any of those things.
It's like, yeah, Neil's made the point here. Potter and Moyes are interested. You know, both of those would, if they came in, I think I'd probably definitely swap for Potter. I'm not a big fan of Moyes because he probably would do a job till the end of the season, but I think then we'd be in the same sort of situation. I don't think he'd be a one for the long term. You know, Moyes. I mean, you've only got to ask the West Ham fans. It's boring football, but like we'll see. I'm just seeing if there's any. Is any other?
Here you go. Do you think Wolves will look for British managers or foreign managers?
That's a good question there. Yeah. Do we think Wolves will?
I think they'll be looking for anyone that they think's good enough to do the job.
They do tend to bounce between the two because they went with they went with what was his name? Wenger. What's his name? Was it Wenger? Not Wenger.
Zenga.
Zenga. That's it. They went with Walter Zenga. Then they went with Lambert. Then they bought in Nuno. They got Large. Then they've gone with Lopetegui. Then they've gone back British again. So they keep swinging from one way to the other.
Yeah, which tells you they're just trying to look for the best person for the job at that time for the budget. And that's the other thing, is the budget.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, look, I think that if they're not doing due diligence and looking and sounding out people right now, I'd be worried, because this is definitely the time. And you've seen both Moyes and Potter have publicly managed to get out there that they'd be interested. That's sending a message to come and get me. So,
I mean, personally, I'd be inclined to switch right now for Potter.
Yeah, well, I would as well. I mean, I know he didn't necessarily succeed at Chelsea, but like, he was set up really to fail at Chelsea. They're all over the place, you know, in terms of like their recruitment and players dealing with.
Could say that about us.
But yeah, but we haven't got 50 odd players, have we?
No.
You know, we just need strengthening in a couple of areas. And
we need a little bit of luck on injuries now.
We do. We need a little bit of luck on the pitch as well. You know, we need a little bit of fortune, but when things are going against you, they're not. Now, before we go, guys, we've got a couple of products that we want to tell you about. I'm going to go over to Emma first. This is from Foco. And yeah, what we got there, let me just go on the wider screen. There we go. Right. So what you got there? You got the lunchbox. So this is available. And you can put your bottle in there as well.
Yeah, and a pocket at the front. I'd have my chocolate in there.
You'd have your chocolate in there. Let me just go on to the site. The link's in the description below. There's loads of things down here. Look, can you see that on the screen now?
There it is.
Yeah, so there's loads of things. The link below. There's loads of things. But if you scroll down to, there's all sorts of things in here. But if you go down onto the lunchbox, and there's bags and all sorts here as well. It is 18 quid, this lunchbox. You don't get 10% off.
That's not expensive for a lunchbox.
No, it's not. you get 15% off with Always Walls 15 if you use that as well. So there you can see from the top, chocolates, bottle, sandwiches.
Or
And
you
then,
put your crisps in there so they don't get squished.
oh, yes, Chris, yeah. So it's normally 18 quid, but with if you use at checkout Always Walls 15 and use the link in the description below this video, it is you go straight through to that. So definitely use that link and then use Always Walls 15 and off any product on the shop as well. So it doesn't matter whether it's even Walls products, any team, any national team, Bundesliga, League One. I think they've also got some. They've got NBA, NHL, and NFL, all this sort of stuff. Look, they've got the entertainment,
And the
the
Always
Batman.
Walls works on everything, doesn't it?
It Always Walls 15 works on across the whole site. So you can buy that. I've also got here, I've got this to show. You know how we love ducks on this channel? You know how we love ducks? Well, we've got they've sent me one of these as well. So this is a wolf's bathtub duck that's on there that you can get on there as well. These are really popular. They come in and out of stock. I think they're about a tenner, but you get discount. I think they might be only 8 quid, but there's stuff like that on there as well. Hey, Ralph. Can you see there's Ralph? We can't sell you Ralph though, can we?
No.
So yeah, so the link's in the description below. If you want any of those products. And there's loads of choice on there. So look, Nigel says, just go give Gary his P45. Gary
I feel
to
like
stay.
it is inevitable. I just can't see him turning it around. I'd love him to.
Well, we've all said, I've said, look, no one on this channel can say that I haven't stuck up for Gary O'Neill over months since the last win. I've stuck up for him for so long, and given reasons why we got to stick by him, i.e., the injuries, the tough start. I've really tried to defend him, but I can't defend that performance at the weekend, and you can't defend all the strange substitutions and the way he's playing. But if they're sticking by him, I hope he does turn it around. I don't dislike the guy. I just want the best for our team, and I'm fed up like all of you. You know, I'm fed up. Here's a good question, Emma. What's the best gift you've been given, Wolves related?
I don't know. I don't get given many gifts, Wolves related.
You've had a shirt and things like that and tops. You forgot that was I bought you that. There you got on.
There you go. We'll go with the top I've got on there.
Yeah. We got some really good. Oh, what about the Wolves blanket?
Oh, the Wolves blanket's lovely.
That's on there as well
It's
on
a
the photo.
Sherpa blanket, so it's like fluffy on one side. It's really warm.
I've got to show them this. The blankets we will show you at some point, but like I think it is on. Let me just go back onto this and go out of here. If you scroll down, this blanket here, that's how big it is. We use this to watch when it's cool, and it's like look how fluffy that is.
It's nice. It's really warm.
You can see there. Look, it's proper nice, isn't it? That blanket is absolutely brilliant for the summer. Not for the summer, for the winter. It's already discounted as well, so they'll go out of stock really, really quickly. So
they sold out last year.
Oh,
One of the first things to go, weren't they?
But we use this. Like we had it last night, didn't we? That blanket. It's really and it's proper warm and snug. So
we have movie night tonight, and they'll fight over it.
They will, yeah. That blanket's brilliant. But there's loads of stuff on there. So yeah. Look, any final questions? I've ordered one for the Oz trip. Beautiful. Yeah. Cool Mike says he'll send you a gift. That's nice.
Thanks, Mike.
I always get Emma something nice for Christmas.
It's just not Wolves related.
Yeah, whatever you want in it and stuff like that. So, you know. We're not a happy clapper channel, Neil. We are what you can call
realistic.
us. We're balanced. We're just like not the doom and gloom channel. We're not the negative channel. We if we like have something to say one way or another, we try to give everyone an opportunity to have their say. We do have our opinions, but we do try to be balanced. We try to be calm and try to give thought and reason. But you do get to a point, don't you?
I'm going to throw a question out.
Yeah.
If we get absolutely tated against City,
Yeah.
do you think you'll go?
What do you call tated? Mr. Tobias has a question.
Another 5 goals against us?
Yeah, how many points from the next 4? We'll go with a happy channel. I'll prefer that, Neil. We'll go with a happy channel. We'll take that. Even though I'm not feeling very happy at the moment. How many points from the next 4, Emma, for GON to keep
So
his
what we
job?
got? City, Brighton,
Palace and Southampton, isn't it?
Southampton and Palace.
Yeah. How many
He's got to
points?
get at least 5.
I think at least 6.
Yes, 6
We've got to beat
ideally.
Palace and Southampton. That's 6.
Yeah, we need to beat Palace and Southampton.
But you know, no team has ever stayed up when they've only had 1 point after 9 games. And if that's the case, we'll only have 1 point. I think 6 points at minimum. But that will only put us on 7 points after. That would only put us on 7 points after 11 games. So there's a few here. Matt reckons 1 point to keep his job. I don't think. Jared says 5 points as well. He needs 2 wins from 3 at home. Yeah, Mr. Tobias says.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4 points. Neil definitely wants him to go. He's been wanting him to go for ages. I think if he goes, I think Neil's going to invite us round to his Gary O'Neill's been sacked party.
I'm up for that.
I'm up for that as well. Carl says 6 points. Oh no, Matt said things to think he'll get 1 point for the next 4 games. That will not be enough. If we get 1 point for the next 4 games, we'll have 2 points out of 11, which will mean we need to win. If we would need to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on a row to get to 17 points, and that would get us 17 points from sort of 17 games. So we'd have to win 4 or 5 games on a row to get back to parity. You need a point a game to definitely stay up. So yeah,
they say the loss to City is almost a given unless Gary creates a killer plan. I did have a chuckle today because Danny Murphy's in the news. He reckons we could get something.
Listen, if that killer plan involves something dropping on Haaland's ankle,
Well, this is it. He's just going to be thinking golden boot, isn't he?
You know, but like, do you know the irony is, right? And we're going to just finish off now, guys. We've done 45 minutes. We're only going to do 20. The irony is, this is the irony. I remember Ipswich last year. I know it's a little bit further on. We were terrible. We'd just been awful against Ipswich. And the next home game was Manchester City. And we were all expecting disaster. He switched to a back 5. Because he was forced into it, wasn't he? I think a little bit. We won the game, and then from there it all turned, and we went on to this fantastic run until injuries caught up with us again. So football's a funny old game, isn't it, Emma?
It is, and at the end of the day, we've got no control over it. What will be, will be.
But the thing is,
we've got no control.
The worry is that if we do start getting tated, we started to hear the away fans turn last week. That Molineux will turn. It'll be the game that it happens, because if we're getting humiliated, it's good. Molineux could start to turn. It's kind of on that precipice now. They need a result. I think he'll go back to a back 5 for this. But we've only got 3 fit defenders. that young lad Bastian might be fit to be on the bench.
Yeah, Matthew, but he's only on the grass with the ball. He's not training with you with other players.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you do start getting your Christmas giftings in, and whether you're a Wolves fan or got some friends that support other teams, you can get them some cheap merch. Use the link in the description below, please, because that helps us out. And yeah, we'll see you. Me and Emma will be back next week.
We will.
I feel empowered that I've got a draw. I've stopped the rocks, so to speak. So we'll be back.
Both need to do better next week. 3. However, I looked back and I still wouldn't have changed my answers.
No, either would I. So yeah, but I've stopped the rot. I've stopped the losing streak. Let's hope Wolves can. I think if we got a point out of City, I think we'd celebrating. That would be a good result.
We're on the town if that happens.
Yeah, we'll be in Pop World. That's it.
No, we won't. We'll be in the casino having a glass of wine.
I'll have a hot chocolate. Yeah, and yeah, there is a promotion coming with Genting soon, which will mean that make sure you do subscribe to the channel, because we've got a promotion coming, which means that you will be able to come to a match with me and Emma, corporate at Molineux and at Leicester. More detail, but make sure you do hit that subscribe button for details on that. And next week in the Premier League show next week, we've got a new game that you all can join in with a new sponsor. So that's coming next week. So make sure you watch out for the Premier League predictions this time next Wednesday. Anyway, from myself, Ralph, and Emma, to all of you, all the best.
Thanks,
Always Wolves.
Bye-bye.